Okay. Hello, and you join me again today, another week for another video of weird scientific stuff. Okay, and it's another theory today of mine, continuing on of my theory of everything. And funny enough, it's one that I've sort of been working on for a short while, but recently had a sort of a development only a couple of weeks ago, which sort of continued this idea. And funny enough, I just finished watching a Russell Brand video where he's sort of talking about this subject at the moment as well, and about something we've touched on previously about how matter, or I don't know if this is what specifically he's saying, but it links to one of my previous points about how matter is actually potentially a product of consciousness, and how consciousness and matter are actually tied together. And I personally think matter could be a byproduct of consciousness, and like when we die, we still continue like spiritually in a spiritual understanding of the universe. And another one we covered up was symbiosis and how things are tied together and all these sorts of things. And in later videos, we're going to come on to this sort of premise of mine, which I had, which was to do with like how numbers and like matter realized itself, and how it's maybe linked to light, which we're going to come on to this video. Now, in that later video, I was going to talk about, and I don't know if I just cover this in this one because I've got this list here, and I don't know if we're going to go into it a bit further detail later on. But in the video, it actually talks about how light and how like if you notice how like wavelengths and all these sorts of things, as they get more complex, like the particles and stuff get more complex as well. So originally I had this theory that in the universe something happened which created like hydrogen atoms, which are just single like, molecules or whatever, to actually pull together and started to fuse together, which started to actually create other like elements and stuff, because all of they get smashed together, they make more complicated bonds. So it starts with one, which would be hydrogen, and then it turned into helium, which is two, I think. And then another product was actually carbon, which was a product of them actually being burnt. And then once um, oxygen was created, oxygen actually had a chemical reaction, because everything that burns is actually a chemical reaction with oxygen. Like things can't burn without oxygen. They can fuse and stuff, and you can have hydrogen um, fusion, I think, which is, I personally think, how helium stuff was created anyway. So oxygen and hydrogen burn together, which creates water. I don't know if we talked about this a little bit before, because the elements or something, they become so close together that they turn into water anyway. So it starts making all these other molecules and stuff. And I think that's maybe how all of these elements like actually came to exist. And also potentially why the light spectrum is related to so many different things, and potentially that pattern of life, that sort of shape and that sort of like waveform is actually like the laws of how physics all works together. But now what I had a recent idea was, which tied into how spirituality and matter is actually a product of like spirituality into consciousness, is how maybe light is actually like maybe there was a world before light. Maybe there was like a spirit realm of consciousness where things existed outside of the laws of light, and something happened which created all of these hydrogen bonds to actually realize themselves, actually start creating like energy, or at least an energy still existed, but maybe this sort of started creating hydrogen fusion, which created light, and that radiation actually caused things to actually exist only within a certain like physical parameters, sort of thing. So, like if you see in the equation, Einstein's equation of E equals mc squared, right? Is energy is equal to mass times light squared. And apparently nothing can go faster than the speed of light, because once it starts going faster than the speed of light, it has to there's like an equal energy thing which happens, which sort of stops it happening. So I was thinking how what is it? Things can potentially travel faster than light, but um, like they can't because they're bonded to the physical laws or something. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I've lost my track a little bit, but basically what I'm saying is yeah that bollocks. Like light basically like is like it like damages consciousness to have material properties and only exist within these sort of laws and patterns. And things can exist outside of the light spectrum, um, but then they don't act within the laws of nature, sort of thing. And I'll see if because I commented recently on Ross Brown's video, I'll see if I covered any more points. Um, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I guess strange. Um, I've just got it up here. It says, or what I said anyway. But yeah, there's the idea that maybe there's like a shadow realm sort of thing, and you know, there's another side of life, and that light actually is we are almost a shadow of consciousness. Like light is actually a shadow, like matter is a shadow of another energy source or whatever, and we're limited to that. And you know, light doesn't actually give us energy, but it gives limitations to our energy, sort of thing. And as it progresses more and more, like as you get to nuclear energy, like when you make the nuclear bomb and stuff, and it's so destructive and all these sorts of things, and radiation is actually so destructive. Like when we're in sun and stuff, and we get sunburn and all these sorts of things, it's always damage. I know it gives us energy, but what I'm saying is it potentially is energy realization, and it's actually bonding energy. It's actually like affirming it to this sort of plane, but everything's actually it's more almost like radioactive damage. So in my comment I say I have this theory that matter is almost a product of consciousness, and it's actually because light's being radioactive product of a phenomena that once occurred and changed the physics of the world. Since energy is equal to matter and light squared, and normal matter can't exist faster than the speed of light, light could actually bring matter to particles. So maybe there was a spirit world that existed without the sun and outside of physics, and the sun came around and the radiation gave law and damaged the spirit and energy, creating specific limits. See what I'm saying? Then I go on a bit further to say, and it's all from the fusion from the initial discovery of hydrogen atoms discovering themselves, that created the other assemblements, but also in a self-discovering way, and material life is like a shadow of an anti-material world. And things can and do exist outside of light, but we can't because we're like radioactively limited by that. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's strange, it's interesting, but I feel like it sort of makes sense. And yeah, don't know. I think there could be another higher plane of existence, which we are all part of consciously, but you know, we are living in the material shadow realm of it, and it's like it would be higher dimension. Like when you have a shadow of, so you got a three-dimensional object. When you have a shadow of that, it's a two-dimensional object, so it would just be a black 2D shape. So we could be potentially a 3D shadow of a 4D realm, maybe. You know, how interesting is that? So that's pretty much it. That's another two-parter of my theory of everything. That's the realization of energy and matter itself, and how the laws of matter actually coexist with light, and how light actually discover the world. But not only that, but how that there could be a plane before light, and maybe light wasn't the initiation of the universe, but actually a step after life itself. So, the universe might not have actually been discovered, but it's actually we're in a second stage of the universal understanding, and that previous realm is the 4D realm, sort of thing. Do you know? Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, strange, very strange. But yeah, they're my theories, further theories of everything, and I've got more as well, which is weird. So hope you enjoyed that. I hope that makes you think about stuff. And I'm not saying it's right, but it's my theories of weird stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe we could look into that a bit further. Yeah, nice. All right, brilliant. Take care.